it's Caroline here. Well, the cherry trees are almost out and I am so inspired by their beautiful colours. So here we go with a cherry blossom pour. So I'm mixing up my medium here with Floetrol paint conditioner and some PVA glue, which I discovered in my last experiment worked pretty well. So I would say it's mainly Floetrol with almost the same amount of glue, not quite, because I've left some room for water, which I'll probably need to add because it's a very thick mixture at the minute. But I'll be able to gauge that better when I mix it with the paint. So I'm aiming to add twice as much medium to paint, so 1 part paint to 2 parts of the medium. So I'm going to just add the medium here and see how the consistency is, and then I'll add water if need be. Because what I'm looking for is quite a runny consistency. So you can sort of see there it forms a small mound when I lift the stick up in the paint. Just a small mound. It is really quite runny. So what I want to do is make all the paints the same consistency. So this is a lovely red that I mixed with some titanium white. One I just put more white in than the other to make it a more pinky colour. And the sky blue is absolutely gorgeous. Those are Amsterdam paints. So I will have the names and makes of the paints in the description box. Just trying to get all the consistencies the same. And this is some more titanium white. So really I've just looked at the colours I could see in the cherry blossom, and I've tried to make up a mixture of all these colours. The cherry blossom are actually just starting to come into bud now, but the almonds have been out. I can't wait for the cherry blossom to come. It's definitely my favourite. Can't really see that, but it's Amsterdam titanium white, and it's quite thick and buttery. It's lovely. Just trying to get it to the right texture there. This is an Amsterdam paint as well, and it is Azo Yellow Lemon. It's really pretty with the pink. The green is it's actually a Liquitex Basics, and it is Hooker's Green Permanent Hue, and it's just a lovely spring green. And then I thought, well, every cloud has a silver lining, so why not put some silver in there? So this is Pebeo Iridescent Silver. You can't really see the consistency, I'm sorry, but it is. I'm trying to get them all the same, and as I've said, I am still learning this, and it's actually really useful keeping a video record of all the paints, because believe it or not, I've been asked to replicate 1 or 2, and I've been able to look back and see just what colours I put in and how I made them. I mean, it's nearly impossible to make 2 the same. Well, it is impossible, but at least you can get colours the same. So I just use the little shot glasses to put the canvas on. It's a 20 by 20 centimetre canvas, or 8 by 8 inches, which I'm trying to get into frame at the minute without much success. But there we are, sort of. Now I am using the little shot glasses I'm going to mix up 3 because I just like doing it, and I can place the 3 on the canvas where I want. You basically could do this with one of the one bigger cup or 2. It's up to you. I just like layering the paints and then flipping them over is my favourite bit. I mean, what you're really looking for here are the paints to layer up. If the consistencies are all the same, they should form nice layers. I'm not really very good at this yet, but I'm practicing, and that's the way to go, just to keep practicing. And definitely my supply of canvases from our well, it's sort of a pound shop type thing near where I live, and I can get 4 of these canvases for $3.99, so it's really good value, and they're really not bad quality. And then I have put some of the masking tape just on the back so I don't get paint over everything. So the paints are sort of sinking down a little bit where they should be layering, so well, maybe next time. So there we go, there's my first bit of excitement for the day. Now I haven't added any silicone to any of these paints, so any cells that form are just from the painting medium or from the fact that the paints are all different densities, and it's all really, you know, if you're into physics, you know, and chemistry and things, it's all very interesting as to how and why the paints do what they do. I find it totally mesmerizing, and it's so exciting to see what's going to form, but I just haven't had great results using the silicone. It makes far too many cells, and I just like the cells to be a little bit more subtle. So at the moment I seem to have totally lost the silver, and this does sometimes happen, especially with the metallics, that they can just disappear. I'm not quite sure why, but it's certainly looking pink. And what else? There's not that much of the pale blue either, but I think it's quite nice, and I can think of cherry blossom when I look at that. There's a few interesting cells and things forming there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to repeat exactly the same colours just to see how it turns out, because I had all the paints there, and paint pouring is totally addictive. So once you've done one, I can be there all day till I've no paint left, doing more and more, getting messier and messier. All the little bits of paint that fall on my silicone mat there, I'll let them harden, and then I can peel them off and add it as acrylic skins, and I'm going to make something very exciting with them at some point. Now the yellow to me is looking a bit lumpy. These are paints that I had left over from something, and definitely paint will keep in these containers. I just put a bit of cling film over the top, and they keep for days, and some of them I've had for weeks because they're mixed with the medium and some water. It might thicken up a bit, so you just need to adjust the consistency when you bring them out to use again. So really these are the same colours that I used the last time. to see if I can get some more silver to appear this time. When you flip them like this, sometimes you can see the cells all oozing out the bottom of the little cup. Well, that seems to be showing a bit more silver. When I torch it, as I'm doing now, that will disperse any air bubbles in the paint, and it does encourage some cells to, if they're lurking there underneath, they'll possibly appear with a bit of heat to encourage them to the surface. So just tilting it, and this is where I always tend to lose my favourite bits, but if you do this slowly and carefully, I seem to be doing it. It is sped up a little bit, but I'm sure I could do it a bit slower. In reality, I just get overexcited. I'm trying to get the colours that I want to be where I want them. Yes, and there's a big blob. I knew the yellow paint had lumps in it. So I'm going to go and start hunting for some tweezers in a minute to get rid of the blob. It's nice as well, you see with the painting, the acrylic painting pours, that the patterns go over the edge, and it's nice for that, and that sort of makes it you don't need to put them in a frame so much, because the painting does go over the edge and is nice from all angles. So that's the second pour, which is quite a bit different from the first one, despite using exactly the same colours. And so I'm going to let you see the dried results, because I just want to show you something that has appeared in the dried results. And again, it's on my my learning curve as to try and now here we go. So this is the first one, and that's the full dried result. Now you'll see in places there are small cracks, and what I think is causing them is that the paint is either a little too thick on the canvas, and the top layer is drying quicker than the layer below, so it makes it, the top layer will then stretch. So I think the solution to this really is to keep your paint as thin as possible, not have it too thick on the canvas as you're tilting, and to dry it in a room that's not too hot. So I hope that you've enjoyed this, and that you will join me again on my adventures with acrylic paint. Thanks so much. See you again. Bye.